The first four are simple, yet every year there's people that get these wrong. If the diameter is given, find the radius. You just do what?
Cut it in half.
Cut it in half. Cut it in half. If they're given a radius, what do you do to find the diameter?
Double it.
Double it.
Double.
Double it.
Double.
Okay. All right, the matching. This is like what we had in the section 10.2, I think it was. You've got to match what they are to what the line is, or the picture. So a point of tangency is either there, 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 or there. Point of tangency is where the tangent hits the circle. So D, E, C, or H. The only one they got of those is C. A center, there's two centers, A and B. So they have B, which is H. Diameter, there's only one diameter right here, HF or FE. And it's a segment, so that one is C. A chord, now you've got options here. HF is also a chord, the diameter. So you could put C here and it wouldn't be wrong. But there's also a chord right here, DG. And remember, a chord starts and stops. So it'd be segment DG, not line DG. So you could have C or F for that one. A secant is a line that cuts through it in two spots. So that'd be line DG. Common internal, common external. Internal goes in between them, external does not, stays outside of them. So CH is a common internal, that's A. And then the common external would be DE, line DE, G. And a radius, you've got four choices, AD, AC, BH, or BF. AD they got in there, huh? Okay, so this one's like the worksheet. You're going to want to fill everything in first. You don't have to, it just makes it easier. Here we've got vertical angles. So that's 52, since that one's 52. This is half a circle, 180, so just subtract 52 off of 180. It's 128. And this is a half a circle, so subtract 90 and 52 off of 180. And you get 38. So, arc ET, these are all central angles now. So ET is 52. You guys ever watch an ET?
Yeah.
Everybody? Huh? We should? I think I've watched it 120 times in the past month, so I don't want to. My daughter loves it. So SF is 38. TSF, start at T, go through S, and stop at F. So that's, now that one is kind of a misprint, because when it's three letters it should be a major arc, but you just got to do what it tells you. TSF would be TSF. So that would be 128.
Because wouldn't it just be TF?
It would be just TF if it was correct. I just kind of threw this test together, so I suppose I made a mistake. I don't know. Maybe the actual is like that, but EMU is 128.
SMU.
SMU,
They're good at basketball.
38 and 52 is 90. Southern Methodist, they got kicked out of college football back when I was in junior high.
Why?
Because they cheated, they paid all their players.
And this year they couldn't play in the NCAA tournament because they...
The basketball team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some scholarships.
Huh?
How would they pay all their players?
To get the good players.
They
They paid the good players to come and play for them, and then they got caught, so they cut the football program.
What is number 8 again? What does that mean? Like you wrote for fence?
Right here?
Yeah. What is that?
There's two possible answers. You could put C because HF is technically a chord too, or F.
Oh, okay, so that's
So either one of them would be right. Okay, angle EMS, EMS is this angle, so you'd have to combine those two, 142. Okay, the inscribed angles. Now, there's a trick on these to make sure you read the directions. They either want angle MN or LMN or arc LN. So here's the angle, which is half of that, so it'd be 91. Here's arc LN, which would be double that, so that's 100. So far nothing different. Here's angle LMN, 65. This is the one that's a trick. They want arc LN, which would be this. Because when there's two letters, you take the shortest route. So this arc is double 165, which is 330, which means this arc would be 30 degrees. Not a very accurate picture, but okay, so make sure you're finding the one, because there's like 2 or 3 in a test that it's not labeled real good. You got to read the directions.
Because this is double that, you take 330 or 360.
Okay. Then when it's a tangent and a angle, this is the easiest one to remind yourself if you forget. Since this is a 180, what is this arc right here? 180. It's half a circle, and you can tell then what would this angle be? 90. So that tells you the angle is half of the arc. So here they want arc AB, which is this, which would be double the angle, 104. This one they want the angle, which is half of the arc, 108. Then when you're finding the angles, if it's inside, you add and divide by 2. If it's outside, you subtract and divide by 2. So 116 plus 122 divided by 2. When you're doing this on a calculator, make sure you press equals when you do this before you divide by 2, or else you'll get a wrong answer. 119, but again, this is another little tricky kind of. They don't want that angle, they want this one. So you got to subtract it off of 180, 61 degrees. Here you got to figure out it's 160 minus this arc divided by 2 to get the angle. So you can figure out what that is, because these got to add up to 360. Is that a 94 on the bottom?
Yeah.
So this is 26. So 160 minus 26, press equals before you divide by 2, and you get 67.
Wait, how'd you get that 26?
Because the whole thing's got to add up to 360. So take 360 minus that, minus that, minus that, and what you have left is there. Okay, and then this is the last page, right?
Yeah.
Again, they're looking for this angle, and what you gotta always look for is diameters. Since this is a diameter, this is half a circle. Since this is 150, this is 30. So now to find the angle inside, it's 30 plus 84 divided by 2 is 57. When it's outside, you got to subtract them. 106 minus this arc, which we can figure out. Just take 360 and subtract these two, and what's left is that. So 360 minus 174 minus 106 is 80. Divided by 2, that's 23. Divided by 2 is, or not 26, divided by 2 is 13. Now these last ones are the lengths. It's the outside times the whole length equals the outside times the whole length. So this is 100 equals 8x plus 64. So you subtract 100 and divide, or subtract 64 and divide by 8, and you get 4.5. Same thing, the outside times the entire length, which is the outside, equals the outside, times the entire length, which is 4 plus 3x. So this is 100 equals 16 plus 12x, so we subtract 16 and divide by 12, and you get 7. When they're inside, it's the piece times the piece. Now 3x times 3x is
3x squared.
close. 9x squared. The 3 times 3 is 9, x times x is x squared. Equals 8 times 18. So that's 144. So you gotta divide by 9 and then square root. And you get 4. Here, it's just like these up here. It's the outside times the entire length, 3 and 5 is 8, equals the outside times the entire length, which is 2 plus x. So this is 24 equals 2 times 2, 2 times x is 2x. So we got to subtract 4, then divide by 2, and you get 10. The last one is just like the assignment we just did. All you got to do is find the center and the radius. So you got to put parentheses around the center. Now remember, what would the center be? Negative 3, it's the opposite. And negative 1. And then the radius is not 49, it's 7, because this stands for r squared. So you got to square root it. So here the center is negative 2 and positive 6. Change the sign, change the sign. And now this is one where square root of 38 is not a perfect square, so you can just leave it like that. You don't need to put it as a decimal.
So, on my test, am I gonna have like 2 in the bottom one?
Yep.
Can you simplify?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
No.
Fully.
I think you might be